Joe Rogan's instant reaction to the verdict of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's defamation trial was caught during an episode of his podcast. One of the latest episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience, the comedian was joined by UFC Bantam champion Aljamain Sterling. While their discussion was mostly centered around MMA, the highly anticipated conclusion of the Depp versus Amber trial was announced during their taping. The Virginia jury ruled that the Aquaman star defamed her ex-husband, awarding the Pirates of the Caribbean star $15 million in damages. The jury also favored some aspects of Amber's countersuit and awarded her $2 million in compensatory damages. And Rogan fully supports Depp, much to the disappointment of those who thought his win would ruin the progress made by the Me Too movement. So what did Rogan say, and why was Depp being blamed? Let's find out. Reacting to the culmination of the widely speculated trial between the two Hollywood stars, Rogan said,
"She's so crazy. I feel like, look, I don't want her to have to pay him money. I really don't, because I think that lady's broken, and psychologically she's so damaged. She's so crazy. And I think the real punishment is that it's been exposed to the world how insane she is.
Yeah.
Like, she's insane and she's a liar.
Rogan went ahead to heap praise on Depp's lead attorney, Camille Vasquez. The veteran UFC commentator believes Camille did an incredible job representing the actor. During another episode of his wildly popular podcast, Rogan said,
"She's amazing. That lady's incredible. That woman's a beast. When she's questioning, when they're going over the thing about whether or not you gave the money away to charity, no one looks good in those situations."
On the flip side, the bald-headed comedian wasn't too impressed with Amber's legal team. According to the bulky podcaster, the actress's lawyers were exceedingly incompetent that she might as well have found them on Craigslist. Rogan added, "They don't make any sense. Their questions are terrible. They're so ill-prepared. But also, what are they dealing with? Like, what are they dealing with? They're dealing with someone who's a clear sociopath, a clear liar." When the verdict was announced on June 1st, social media reactions ranged from wondering if Depp would now be asked to reprise his Pirates of the Caribbean role to petitions for Amber to be replaced in Aquaman 2. However, the most urgent response came from activists asking the question, what are their repercussions for the hashtag #MeToo movement? A heartbroken Amber called this verdict a setback for women everywhere, saying in a press statement that it sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously, but not even her teary confession moved Rogan. The tough-talking commentator has always been a supporter of Depp. In one recent episode of his podcast, he was discussing celebrity drama with his guest, Tony Hinchcliffe. He said, "Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's trial, like, whoa, you feel jealous that some people are movie stars. Yeah, you want to know what they're like behind the scenes. When there's this one witch that convinces the super millionaire not to sign a prenup so that she can weasel all the money out of him." He also added, throws a glass bottle, cuts his finger off, beats him up, and then goes to the press and tells everybody that Johnny beat her. Rogan actually wanted Depp to win the case to prove him innocent. He also talked about how Amber Heard added unnecessary detail to her trial to prove herself right. The 54-year-old New Jersey native also made it clear that Depp's win was deserved, and not even the supporters of the Me Too movement should challenge that. According to Me Too founder Tarana Burke, the trial result has not sabotaged the movement. After Depp's massive victory against his ex-partner in their sensational defamation suits, netizens turned to their social media to address the huge hit the win has had over the movement, noting Amber Heard calling the decision a major setback for women who have suffered domestic violence. The Me Too movement isn't dead. The system is dead, Tarana wrote. This is the same legal system that y'all have been relying on for justice and accountability for decades to no avail. When you get the verdict you want, the movement works. When you don't, it's dead. She went on a ranting spree, adding, when Harvey Weinstein went to jail, it was, Me Too is winning. When Bill Cosby came home, it was, what a blow, I too is losing. She continued, in the meantime, millions of people who have never been able to utter the words, it happened to me, have released the shame that wasn't theirs to carry in the first place. We have built the country's first political agenda created solely by survivors. And for the first time since Anita Hill took the stand 3 decades ago, we've had a sustained national dialogue about about not just sexual harassment, but the spectrum of sexual violence in this country. She added, that's in addition to various laws and policies passed, etc. This movement is very much alive. You all want to play ping pong and have your way with the hashtag because it doesn't mean anything to you, so you try to kill it every few months. But it means something to millions and millions of folks. It means freedom, it means community, it means safety, it means power. You can't kill us. We are beyond the hashtag, she concluded. We are a movement. Some sections of the public have blamed Depp for taking the woman's fight for freedom back to the drawing board. But according to Rogan, justice shouldn't be selective. And in this one, the Black Mass star deserved to win. Depp's argument, which the jury apparently agreed with, was that Amber had in fact abused him and lied about it. The actress was one count of defamation of her own against Depp's former lawyer, Adam Waldman. Depp's victory does not come from a criminal trial. It was a civil case about a newspaper op-ed. In the Washington Post in 2018, Amber wrote an op-ed titled, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change." There, the Paranoia star never mentions Depp, but she refers to herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Depp argued that his ex-wife was clearly referring to him and, as such, was defaming him, and the jury agreed. Depp's fans are already rallying behind his friend Marilyn Manson, who was accused of abuse by Evan Rachel Wood. Depp's supporters, Rogan included, argue that his victory represents not the end of Me Too, but an expansion of the movement. According to Depp, it is he, not Amber, who is the true domestic violence victim in this story. As such, his supporters argue he is helping to break down the stigma against men identifying as abuse victims. After all, how can anyone say that real men don't get abused when Captain Jack Sparrow told the world he was a victim of domestic violence? This trial, the narrative goes, is a necessary corrective to the #BelieveWomen hashtag that trended in the heady early days of Me Too. The point is not to believe all women, but to believe all victims, including male victims. There is indeed compelling evidence that the Drive Angry star behaved violently toward Depp. On the stand, she admitted to hitting him at least once, and there are audio recordings in which she can be heard talking about hitting him and apparently belittling him. Over the past few years, the Me Too movement has rocked the employment world, encouraging employees to call out supervisors and coworkers and take down executives and organizations that swept sexual impropriety under the rug. The movement urged society to believe victims, to accept sexual harassment and assault allegations because victims had nothing to gain from making them. This, of course, was the thrust of Amber's legal position. She had nothing to gain from making the allegations against Depp, so her counsel argued they must be true. But this feature of Me Too was problematic. Encouraging the world to accept allegations on their face seemed too open, too accepting, and too susceptible to abuse. But the opportunity to come forward with impunity was refreshing and called for real change. The evidence suggested Amber had something to gain by writing her op-ed in 2018. She had a high-profile movie being released. She worked with other parties to align the timing of the article. Her hands did not appear to be clean, and that's part of the reason why Rogan has come to Depp's defense. And while the 3 Days to Kill actress presented gruesome details of her marriage to Depp during the trial, her claims of domestic violence were overshadowed by her own stories of engaging in abuse and orchestrating her op-ed. After deliberating for 13 hours, the jury found that Amber acted with actual malice. She definitely was no longer an ambassador of domestic or sexual violence. The trial decision, which is subject to appeal, will cast all future Men Too allegations in a negative light. It will set victims back, making them think twice about coming forward. The Men Too movement, as everyone knew it, has ended. From your point of view, do you think Depp deserved to win the defamation case as Rogan did? Let us know in the comments below. In our upcoming videos, we'll be bringing you more of such amazing content, so be sure to subscribe to our channel so that you don't get to miss any of them.